Hello, I'm Hope Logan. I'm an actor on Bold and the Beautiful, and many people really love both me and our Bold and the Beautiful drama. So I've come here to share updates about my beloved Bold and the Beautiful. Everyone, please subscribe and support me. If you do, I will keep coming every day with new updates for you. On Thursday, June 25th, the world around Logan is set to tighten, with secrets, pressure, and the kind of emotional fallout that never stays buried for long. And at the center of it all is a chain of revelations that threatens to pull several lives into chaos at once. Liam Spencer is about to learn something that catches him completely off guard, while across town, Will Spencer finds himself sinking deeper into a position he never wanted in the first place, forced to protect one secret after another, even as the weight of them starts pressing harder on his conscience. Logan's upcoming launch is already carrying enough pressure on its own, but now the event is becoming a minefield of deception, family loyalty, and dangerous half-truths. Will has already been put in the uncomfortable position of hiding Hope Logan Spencer's role at Logan from Electra Forrester, a secret he never felt right keeping, but one he's been expected to protect all the same. Katie Logan Spencer and Bill Spencer have made it clear that they're counting on him to stay quiet. And Will, despite his growing unease, has tried to do exactly that. But the deeper he gets pulled into their plans, the more impossible silence begins to feel. Especially now that the secrets around Logan are multiplying faster than he can contain them. Not long ago, Will learned about another twist brewing behind the scenes. The jewelry line Wyatt Spencer and Shauna Fulton have been quietly putting together. And that discovery alone was enough to leave him uneasy, especially when he imagined how Electra might react if she ever found out the truth after being kept in the dark. Yet even that turns out to be only the beginning of his problem, because Thursday's episode is set to make his predicament even worse. Will is about to discover that the legendary Hope for the Future diamond will now become part of Hope's upcoming debut, turning an already high-stakes launch into something even grander, more strategic, and far more complicated. Bill and Katie intend to use the expensive, famous gem to their full advantage as they prepare to unveil Hope's line, fully aware that its prestige and attention-grabbing power could elevate the event in a way few other pieces ever could. But with that plan comes yet another secret Will is expected to carry. Another truth he has to swallow down and hide from Electra, even as it inches closer to becoming impossible to conceal. The pressure mounts when Electra, seemingly out of nowhere, starts talking about the Hope for the Future diamond herself, openly wishing she had a piece like that to serve as the centerpiece of the jewelry collection she's working on. In that moment, what had already been difficult for Will becomes almost unbearable. Because now, he's not just hiding vague business developments, he's standing in front of someone he cares about, listening to her dream aloud about the very thing he already knows is being used somewhere else, all while being forced to pretend he knows nothing. That is the cruel position Will finds himself trapped in, watching the truth move closer and closer to Electra, while being unable to say a word. Every instinct in him may be telling him to be honest, to stop the lies before they grow any larger. But loyalty has a way of demanding silence, and for now, it looks like he'll stay committed to Katie and Bill as they push full speed ahead toward Hope's big event. Still, the emotional cost of that loyalty is clearly building. With every new revelation about Logan, with every fresh surprise tied to Hope's launch, Will's silence becomes heavier, more personal, and more dangerous. It's no longer just about protecting a plan. It's about protecting a web of deceptions that could unravel relationships the moment the truth finally slips free. And if Electra keeps talking, keeps asking questions, or keeps getting closer to the truth on her own, Will may soon find himself standing at the edge of a choice he never wanted to make. Betray the people who trusted him to stay quiet, or betray the woman who has no idea how much is being hidden from her. Meanwhile, another storm is quietly gathering around Hope, and this one is heading straight for Liam. Hope's panic over Brooke Logan Forrester's visit to Logan has already pushed her into dangerous territory, and now the consequences of that decision are beginning to spread. Brooke had shown up asking too many questions, pressing too close to the truth, and Hope, desperate to keep her mother from figuring out what was really happening, moved quickly to throw her off the trail. In a moment fueled by fear and urgency, she sent Deacon Sharp into Katie's office as a distraction, using him as part of a cover story to keep Brooke focused on the wrong suspect. The plan worked, at least for the moment. Brooke now believes Deacon is the mystery designer behind what's happening at Logan, and because of his lack of fashion industry experience, she isn't overly concerned about his involvement. From Brooke's point of view, Deacon simply doesn't seem like someone capable of posing a serious threat or pulling off something major in the fashion world. But what Brooke doesn't know, what she has no reason yet to suspect, is that Deacon has actually been assigned the very real job of helping bring Hope's vision to life, making him far more central to the plan than Brooke could possibly imagine. It's only a matter of time before Liam learns about everything that unfolded, and when he does, the emotional consequences may hit harder than anyone expects. Liam will inevitably find out what happened with Brooke, with Deacon, and with the lengths Hope has gone to in order to keep her involvement hidden. And that knowledge is bound to leave him wondering where Hope's head and heart are right now. Because beneath the surface of the deception, beneath the strategy and secrecy, Hope is carrying something far more fragile: guilt. When Brooke called, Hope had to pretend she knew nothing about Deacon's new job, forcing her to lie directly to her own mother and deepen a deception that was already beginning to consume her. Every false word pushes her further into emotional quicksand, and the burden of keeping up appearances is only making her guilt sharper, heavier, and harder to ignore. What started as a protective move has become something much messier. And now, Hope isn't just hiding a secret, she's living inside one, with every conversation demanding another layer of performance. The strain of that is bound to show, especially once Liam becomes part of the situation and starts seeing just how tangled this whole lie has become. That's where the real awkwardness begins, because Liam and Hope may soon find themselves cornered together in the most uncomfortable way possible. Brooke could easily bring up Deacon's position in front of both of them, unknowingly pressing on the exact secret they're trying so desperately to keep buried. And if that happens, the tension in the room is bound to become almost unbearable. Every glance, every pause, every carefully chosen word would carry the pressure of exposure, as Hope and Liam struggle to keep their reactions under control, while Brooke remains completely unaware of the truth standing right in front of her. It's the kind of scene where silence says as much as dialogue, where guilt hangs in the air like a storm cloud, and one wrong expression could give everything away. And even if Brooke doesn't piece it all together immediately, the emotional damage is already being set in motion. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers make it clear that Brooke will eventually be hurt by Hope's lies in the episodes ahead, and that heartbreak may cut deeper than anyone expects, not just because of the deception itself, but because of what it says about how far Hope felt she had to go to keep her mother out of the truth. As Logan's launch draws closer and the lies around it grow more fragile by the day, the stage is being set for an unraveling that feels inevitable, where family bonds, romantic trust, and hard-won loyalty could all be tested at once. As the countdown to Logan's launch continues, the atmosphere around Hope only grows more suffocating, because what once may have seemed like a temporary cover-up is now turning into a full emotional siege. Every person around her is unknowingly pulling on a different thread of the same secret, and Hope is being forced to hold the entire thing together with nothing but composure and nerve. Brooke's suspicion may have been redirected for now, but it hasn't truly disappeared. It's merely settled into the background, waiting for the right moment to rise again. And that may be what makes the situation so dangerous. Brooke believes she has the answer, which means she may keep talking about Deacon's role with a confidence that only creates more opportunities for Hope and Liam to be trapped in uncomfortable conversations they can't honestly navigate. There's a special kind of torment in having to sit across from someone you love, listen to them discuss the lie you created, and smile through it as if nothing is wrong. For Hope, that torment is becoming constant, and with each passing moment, the emotional cost of protecting her vision, her launch, and her secret involvement is threatening to outweigh whatever victory she hopes to gain when the curtain finally rises. Liam, meanwhile, is being drawn into the mess from a different angle, and that may be what makes his reaction so important. Once he learns the truth about how Brooke was misled and how deeply Hope has committed herself to keeping this secret alive, he won't just be processing the facts. He'll be trying to understand what all of this is doing to Hope. He knows her well enough to recognize when she's carrying more than she can handle, and this situation has all the signs of someone who is trying desperately to stay in control while quietly unraveling inside. That's why the shock Liam experiences won't just come from discovering the deception itself, but from realizing how far Hope has gone and how isolated she may already feel because of it. There's a painful intimacy in being the one person who sees the strain someone else is trying to hide. And if Liam senses the guilt eating away at Hope, it could pull him closer to her in a way neither of them expected. At the same time, it could also leave him unsettled, because the more he understands the truth, the more he becomes responsible for carrying it too. And in a world like this one, secrets never stay private for long without demanding something in return. That looming tension is what makes Brooke's eventual heartbreak feel so inevitable. Right now, she may believe she has outsmarted the mystery at Logan by deciding Deacon is the harmless explanation behind everything. But when the truth finally comes out, the real wound won't simply be that she was wrong. It will be that Hope let her be wrong. It will be the realization that while Brooke was asking questions, trying to understand what was happening, her own daughter was looking her in the eye and pretending not to know the truth. That kind of betrayal doesn't land like a single dramatic blow. It settles slowly, painfully, in the space between trust and disappointment. Brooke won't just be hurt because Hope lied. She'll be hurt because Hope felt she had to shut her out, because somewhere along the way, honesty became more dangerous than deception. And when that truth finally surfaces, it could force mother and daughter into one of those emotionally raw confrontations where neither side is entirely wrong, but both are left bleeding from the fallout. At the same time, Will's side of the story is becoming its own ticking time bomb, one built not around panic, but around restraint. His silence is no longer passive. It's active, deliberate, and increasingly difficult to maintain. First, he had to keep Hope's role at Logan from Elektra. Then, he had to carry the knowledge of Wyatt and Shauna's jewelry plans. And now, he's expected to sit on the explosive truth about the Hope for the Future diamond as well. Each secret on its own would be enough to strain a relationship, but taken together, they create a wall between Will and Elektra that grows higher every time she opens up to him. The tragedy of it is that Elektra isn't approaching him with suspicion or accusation. She's speaking with genuine enthusiasm, dreaming out loud about the kind of centerpiece she wishes she had for her own collection, never realizing that the very symbol she's admiring is already being used in a hidden plan he's forbidden to discuss. That innocence is what makes Will's silence feel so heavy. He isn't just withholding business information, he's withholding truth in moments of intimacy, in conversations where honesty should come naturally. and every one of those moments chips away at the ease between them. Bill and Katie, of course, are looking at the situation through a completely different lens. To them, the hope for the future diamond is an opportunity, a bold statement piece, a glamorous weapon in the battle to make Hope's launch unforgettable. They see the value in spectacle, in attaching something rare and iconic to Hope's debut, so that the line arrives with instant attention and undeniable prestige. From a strategic point of view, it's a brilliant move, the kind of high-profile decision that can turn a launch into an event, and an event into a sensation. But strategy has a way of ignoring the emotional collateral damage left in its wake, and that damage is already beginning to pile up around the people closest to the plan. Bill and Katie may believe they're simply asking Will to keep quiet a little longer for the greater good, but from Will's perspective, every new demand tightens the knot around him. Their confidence in the plan only increases the pressure on him to stay loyal, and the more determined they become to protect Hope's big moment, the more isolated Will may feel in the role they've handed him. Silence, in this case, isn't neutral. It's a burden, and one he's carrying almost entirely alone. What makes all of this feel so combustible is that both storylines are moving toward the same emotional destination: exposure. Hope can only keep Brooke at arm's length for so long before the lies begin to crack under the weight of guilt and circumstance. And Will can only keep looking Electra in the eye before the truth starts to poison the very trust he's trying to preserve. In both cases, the people telling the lies aren't doing it out of cruelty. They're doing it because they feel cornered, because someone they love has convinced them that secrecy is necessary, because the launch ahead of them has become bigger than honesty. But good intentions don't soften betrayal once it's discovered. They only complicate it. And that's the cruel brilliance of everything unfolding around Logan right now. No one seems to be acting out of simple malice, yet nearly everyone is setting themselves up to hurt someone they care about. It's not a story driven by villains and victims so much as by fear, ambition, loyalty, and the terrible decisions people make when they believe they're protecting something important. So as Thursday's drama unfolds, the real power of the episode lies not just in the shocking news Liam receives or the impossible position Will is trapped in, but in the emotional aftershocks that are already forming beneath the surface. Hope's launch is supposed to be a triumphant moment, a dazzling new beginning tied to her vision, her ambition, and the promise of what Logan could become. Yet the closer that launch gets, the more it feels like a beautiful event being built on unstable ground, with every secret layered underneath it like a fault line waiting to split open. Liam is about to see just how complicated Hope's deception has become. Will is about to feel the full weight of the truths he's carrying for Bill and Katie. Brooke is moving steadily toward a heartbreak she doesn't even know is coming. And Electra may be standing closer to betrayal than she realizes. And when all of those truths finally collide, Logan's big event may still dazzle from the outside, but behind the glamour, the real story will be the emotional wreckage left behind by the lies it took to get there.